Hello everyone, I'm Cassie Miller, Workforce Development Specialist here with Workforce Alliance. I'm here with Toby Oxel, founder of the Pardon Project. Today's topic is, how does someone go about getting a pardon? So the first question is, does someone need a lawyer to get a pardon?
No, you don't need a lawyer. It's helpful, but we're also training people called pardon coaches. These are people who know what the pardon process is, know how to help somebody apply, know how to fill in the blanks. And so if you're in Wayne County, there is Workforce Alliance, and we've trained the staff there. The Bar Association also has people trained in pardons, so you can go to a lawyer, but you don't need to have a lawyer.
Thank you, Toby. How much does a pardon cost?
Nothing. Well, it costs nothing to get the form, nothing to file the form, nothing in that process. But you do have to get some records from the courthouse, and they're going to charge you whatever the fee is per page to get those records. But you do have to attach those to the pardon application when you submit it.
Okay, so there could be some small costs associated with it. Okay. So generally, how many people who apply for pardons actually end up getting one?
Just about 2/3. Yeah, believe it. It used to be 400 people applied across the state back in 2018. Now 2,400 people have applied last year, and who knows how many this year, but it's going to be more. And 2/3 of them are going to end up with a pardon. So the question is, why haven't you applied yet?
Very true, Toby.
You're right.
Can you give a brief rundown of the actual pardon process?
Sure. It's really very straightforward. First, you have to get the form, and you got to fill out the form, get the copies from court, put all that, and you mail it in. Pretty soon it'll be online, but right now it's a print and mail. Then you wait, and you wait, and then you'll be interviewed by somebody from the Department of Corrections doing an investigation of your application. That person's also going to check with the judge and with the district attorney and with the victim if there is one. They'll probably also check with your employer and other people. And that person just interviews you. And now it's being done by phone. And after that, if you get into the room where it matters, the room where it happens, before the Board of Pardons, then they can ask you questions as well. And after that, you're done. Because if you get the votes to go from the Board of Pardons, you go right to the governor's desk, and then it's up to the governor to decide whether or not you deserve a pardon.
Okay, so generally, how long does this process take?
Way too long. There are ways you can speed it up. For example, if your only crime had to do with possession of small amounts of marijuana or retail theft of a small amount, it's an accelerated program. It's faster. If you only had one crime, and it didn't involve sex or violence or guns or injury to kids, and it was 10 years ago, you're accelerated. And otherwise, if it's over 15 years ago and didn't involve sex, guns, drugs, or kids, as many crimes as you committed over 15 years ago, then you're in an accelerated program. But otherwise, if you don't fall into one of those, it can crawl along. And right now it's taking about 4 years to get to the hearing. We are doing everything we can to speed it up. Because if you've really turned your life around and you're really a good guy now, and you're not committing any more crimes, we want you back to work, doing everything you can do for society. So we're really trying to push the process to be faster. But right now, it still could be 4 years if you don't fit into one of the accelerated categories.
Okay, so that brings me to my next question about what do you do when you're waiting for those 4 years?
Doing the best you can. Remember, this is all a process of forgiving you for crime. We talked about that in an earlier video. This is the governor saying, okay, we're going to forgive you for the crime, and so we're going to erase it from the books like it never happened. Okay, so what's the biggest issue there? Who are you today? What have you been doing since you were in prison or on probation? Have you cleaned up your act? Have you been corrected? And the more things you can show over time, and the longer that period of time is, the more it's going to be a no-brainer for the Board of Pardons and the governor to say, absolutely, you're doing a good job. So, once you fill in the application, keep doing a good job. Keep volunteering in your community, keep doing good at work, keep paying your bills on time. Keep a record of any time you're told no, because that's going to help you get a pardon too.
Okay, Toby. So, final question. When is the best time to apply?
Well, you can apply anytime. You know, even if you're a mass murderer, just committed it yesterday, you can apply for a pardon. You're not going to get one. And there's no rules about this. It's totally up to the people, the 5 people on the Board of Pardons, and you've got to convince 3 of them to get to the governor, and the governor. So you got 3 plus 1, 4 people you got to persuade. The longer it is since the time you had committed your crime, finished your sentence, the longer that period is, the better. If your crime came from drugs, alcohol, or addiction, 7 years, if you've been clean for 7 years, you're not going to commit another crime. That's a great time to do it. So if you're thinking about it, at least 5 years since you completed your sentence, if it didn't involve drugs, kids, guns, that kind of stuff, yucky crimes. 10 years if it did, if it was a yucky crime in general, or 7 years if it came out of addiction. Wait that time and your likelihood of success goes way higher. Then it gets to be 80%. If your crime came out of addiction and it was 10 years ago and you haven't committed another crime, 92% chance. So the longer it is, you cross those thresholds, the better.
Wow, thank you, Toby. We'll address this more in our next video about what makes a good pardon applicant. But for now, anyone interested in learning more about the Pardon Project can give us a call or come visit us at 107 8th Street in Honesdale, Pennsylvania. Thank you.